शहर में गुजरे यादों के लम्हे.
Welcome to the finale episode of Salaam Namaste Singapore Season 4. My name is Vinay Bharadwaj. This season has been exciting because it's been a bundle of information. We spoke about many topics. And today in this segment, I have Sharanjeet come back again on my show, who is a practicing lawyer for 25 years and director of a law firm, Advox, talk about a very pertinent topic. Sharon, welcome to the show.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Yes, good to have you back again on the show. It's the finale episode. And another topic that I want to talk to you about, again a little touchy, but very important for us to talk, is custody of children when a couple separate.
Okay.
Can you first tell our viewers in common terms, what exactly does custody mean?
Okay, so in accordance with the laws of Singapore, custody of a child refers to not how we perceive it as who the child lives with. You know, it's actually entailing the important decisions of a child's life.
Right.
So if I and you have the custody of the child, the mother and the father, it basically means that both parents make joint decisions, consulting each other. So in Singapore, the default position is that parents have joint custody of children because it is the paramount interest of the children that both parents have an involvement in the children's lives. So what kind of decisions are we talking to? Definitely not day-to-day decisions, but important decisions like health, education, religion, surname, relocation. These are important big ticket items that I think matter a lot and are very important to a child's life.
Absolutely.
So that's why that's the custody of children. And the court wants the involvement of each parent, you know, both parents. It's very essential that one parent consults the other on these big issues. So that's custody of children for you.
Right.
Now, what it's always confused with is who the child lives day to day and who makes the day-to-day decisions. So these are very different concepts in Singapore. They are very unique because custody, as I explained, is entirely different from care and control.
Right.
Care and control is the day-to-day. So,
Right.
and care and control is a very important aspect to look at, so as much as custody is. And a lot of disputes generally center around the issue of care and control.
How do people solve that?
Okay, so solving it, working with it, it's very important. Good word that you used, good choice of words. Okay, but yes, so essentially in Singapore, the children's interest is paramount. It's above everything else, okay? And what we have in court and before even parties begin proceedings is this mandatory parenting program, where whoever who wants to actually start a divorce process and there are children below the age of 21, they are required to attend this mandatory parenting program. And it's online, you get a certificate, and it's a very interesting program that opens you up into the arena of what you can expect and what you should be looking at and why you shouldn't be fighting over care and control. How do you resolve it? There are tools. There are many tools out there because, again, the emphasis is we don't want to have children in between.
Right.
Children should never be in between. Yeah.
And I've always heard this, people say that my child stays for 5 days with me and the weekend the
Yes.
child goes to a partner's place.
Yes. Okay. So, you know, if the parent who has got the child living with him or her day to day, that's the parent who has got the care and control. Then the other parent with whom the child is not living with would have what you call access. In other words, visitation rights. Access is what you exactly mentioned, that, you know, weekends, the other parent gets to see the child, gets to be with the child. No, these are all very negative words actually. It's just on weekends, the other parent has a role to play in the child's life. Let's, reterm it, look at it in a positive way.
Spend some quality
Spend time, quality, and access is anything. It can be scheduled, it can be, basically arranged on the spot. Children can contact the parents and have a say, because you know how it is. Children have a lot of programs in school and timetable changes. So the flexibility of it is very important. I think we should move away from the idea of there being a rigid schedule.
Charanjit, one of the things that people need to keep in mind is children's perspective in this whole thing, right? How much of a say does a child have?
Actually, it should be very important for couples and to know mothers and fathers who are, I will use the word father and mother because, they're on the verge of not being partners anymore or already not partners, to realize that everything is for the children. It's the children's interest that's paramount. So there's a lot of emphasis on this. The law is on this. There are people who are in the mental health sector, social sciences experts like family therapists, counselors, mediators. All these people are there to help the child. There are judge-led interviews, and you know what? You'll be surprised, but we have got a child representative lawyer as well, which the court can appoint, parties can apply for. But these are usually for very high conflict cases. We shouldn't even get there. To start off, I think it's very important for parents to be the ones to be the voice of the children, to hear them, and then to facilitate, to work together, and to ensure that, we as parents co-parent.
Just make it amicable.
Just make it amicable. Yes, that's the buzzword here. Why drag the children and make them children in between? It's not a battle. Your children are not commodities. You don't win or you don't lose.
Lovely. You know what, Sharon? It's been lovely talking to you and having you on the entire series. This is great piece of information. If my viewers were going through, or if they know someone who's going through, how can they reach out to you?
Well, my email is there, they have my number, they can reach out to me, and I can connect them to other experts as well, as the case may be. So they're not alone. Just remember, there's help everywhere. Just reach out and sort things out, and that's very important.
Thank you, Sharanjit. Thank you for coming on the show. It was lovely talking to you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Pleasure. Couple who are going through separation, divorce, or matrimonial issues, I'm sure it's really hard for you now. And when you have kids, it becomes more harder. What is important, what we learned from Sharanjit is that make it amicable, make it work, make it better for everyone. That's what is very important. I'm going to take a short break and come back again. You're watching Salaam Namaste Singapore Season 4. My name is Vinay Bharadwaj. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching finale episode of Salaam Namaste Singapore Season 4. Prevention is better than cure. And that's what I'm going to be talking in this segment with two doctors. Dr. Devinder, who's a cardiologist, and Dr. Anis, who's a thoracic surgeon. Doctors, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
You know, what I wanted to tell my viewers today is we've spoken about different illnesses, treatment, and all of that. So why not talk about how to prevent all of that? And what kind of screenings do they need to do in terms of getting to know something early, detecting early, and probably starting the treatment early or avoiding any kind of illnesses. So let's start with heart screening. What are the options available? Who needs to do it and how frequently?
I would say that turn 40, I think that's the time you should start for screening. And what are you looking for is risk of diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, and a basic ECG. And if you have symptoms associated like shortness of breath or chest pain, there are further tests we can add to those screening tests. But after 40, I think even guys or girls, male or female, both should do a yearly once health screening.
So it's yearly that is recommended.
Yeah.
And in terms of lung screening, what happens now? How frequently does one need to do?
Design of lung screening is a bit different from hearts. because heart is much more wholesome. It takes a lot, and as an Indian community, I think heart health is at serious risk because of our all practices which has evolved over the years. For lung screening, basically we follow international guidelines which are actually developed by the West, but we have now modified it a little bit to our own local conditions which suit us better. Smoker or non-smoker, it doesn't matter. Anybody who is above the age of 45 should have a preliminary screening of their chest, which is usually done by a very low dose CT scan. When I say low dose CT scan, it doesn't involve injecting you with any dyes, and this CT scan is equal to doing about probably 7 to 9 x-rays. That is all. So you can get one scan done as your preliminary, and then if there's nothing in it, then you don't need to do anything for the next 3 years.
So it's 3 years
It's
once.
3 years once for lung issue. So now we have even combined that. So there are some more advanced blood tests now which can actually detect early stage lung cancer cells as I speak, which is probably releasing in Singapore from the 1st of April. And then if this is combined with the CT scan, it forms a very potent lung screening. So we also add a lung function test to it. So it will exactly tell you what capacity is your lung functioning at.
Right.
What is the your capability in terms of how much you can carry yourself. So put these three in a package, you have a very powerful screening tool.
Right.
So you need to do it only once in your first thing, and then after that you can go to a specialist and whoever does the screening will evaluate you.
Right. And when we're talking about heart screening, doc, there is something we always keep hearing: do an echo, do a treadmill test. So what are all these and who should be doing it?
Treadmill is basically a stress test.
Okay.
That means if you want to see if you have heart artery blockages, we have to produce a demand-supply mismatch. When we are running on a treadmill, our oxygen demand is very high.
Yeah.
And if there are blockages in your heart arteries, there will be decreased blood flow to the part which has blockage. So that will be a mismatch that is captured on the ECG. So if patient has symptoms of discomfort or shortness of breath, I think treadmill is a very good screening tool to see if he has coronary artery disease. Echocardiogram is ultrasound of your heart. It actually gives us pictures, moving pictures, how your heart functions, how your heart valves opens and closes. So it's like a window into your heart.
Right.
And this is required if patient have symptoms which suggest that his heart may be weaker, like shortness of breath, easy fatigability, or there is abnormality on the screening test like ECG. So if ECG is abnormal, the next step is either echocardiogram or a treadmill, or sometimes we do something like a stress echo. That means it's a treadmill combined with a echocardiogram.
Another thing, with the smart watches that we have, we always have been told that check your oxygen rate on your watch. You'll get to understand and stuff. How important is to have the oxygen level on a daily life basis? What is a good oxygen level? Because post-COVID, that's something that's become a fad.
Saturations is basically defines the oxygen carrying capacity of your blood in your body, which is picked up by a scanner and comes out as a digital reading. I would say anything above 95 is good enough in our daily life. I know for some people it has become an obsession, or it has started to affect them mentally, that I'm a bit short, maybe I'm not well enough. It is not true. So there are diurnal variations in your own body. What I mean is that it can vary from morning to afternoon to evening, and also depends on the level of activity you're doing, sleeping versus running around versus lifting weights. So do not take or look at a particular number for oxygen saturations. Smartwatches have got many other good things, includes your heart rate. There are watches which measure your blood pressure. There are so many things which can be put on an app and store. My advice to you is to use it as a guideline for your lifestyle. If you feel that you are a bit overweight, obviously your heart rate is going to be high, your blood pressure is going to be high. So your key monitor in your watch should be your body weight and not your heart monitor rate.
Right.
So once you reduce your body weight, then your blood pressure and heart rate will automatically come down.
Yeah.
But if it is not responding, that is when you contact Dr. Dev here, and then he will guide you further as to how you go about in your journey.
Right. Right. And does both of your clinics perform regular checks, be it heart treatment or lung?
I have screening packages that involves almost every kind of cardiac investigation, and patient who have who would like to know more about their heart health or who have symptoms like discomfort, chest pain or shortness of breath or palpitation. There's a range of services that we can provide and actually can pinpoint how healthy or not healthy their heart is.
Right. And how long does it usually take?
Usually it's a single day procedure. Sometimes it can take just 1 or 2 hours, or sometimes you might require to come back again to do some more investigations.
Right. And your clinic, Doc?
Lung screening packages are uncommon, so we run a screening package. So I think the duration is most importantly dedicated to the CT scan which we do, which probably takes about half an hour, taking the logistics, and then you do a blood test. That is all. And the lung function test, if included in the package, will take you about another hour or so, and then probably you come back the next day to analyze what your results are.
Wonderful. This was so informative, and I would definitely tell my viewers to not ignore. Thank you, Dr. Devinder. Thank you, Dr. Anees, for gracing Salaam Namaste Singapore Season 4 and coming throughout the season and talking about very pertinent topics. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, if you're 40 plus, once in a year, get your heart screening, and once in 3 years, get your lung screening. Though it might sound that why do I need to take the effort of going and getting it done? Trust me, it's going to help you in the long term. Make it a habit and make it your annual screening practice. That's what Dr. Anees and Dr. Devinder enlightened us in this episode. You're watching Salaam Namaste Singapore Season 4. I'm going to take a short break and come back again for the last segment on the finale episode. You don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Salaam Namaste Singapore Season 4. I'm sitting at this beautiful restaurant called Viva Loca at Katong. The ambience is great, the vibes are good, and the food is amazing. My next guest is Kiran, who is an actor and founder of Actomania. Kiran, welcome to Salaam Namaste Singapore.
Thank you.
So before we start, I just want to offer you this really yummy, crispy pakora made out of pattu besan. Feel free to eat while I'm going to ask you all about your life and Actomania.
Sure.
So let's start by talking about when did you get into acting?
Acting is my passion since childhood. Yeah, so when I was 5, 6.
Oh, you started very young.
Yes.
And Singapore acting, when did it start here? When did you move to Singapore?
Singapore, I moved 2006, January.
Quite a number of years.
Yeah.
यहाँ पे तो 15 साल हो गया.
15 साल, yes.
And आप यहाँ पे acting continue किया?
Acting बीच में gap आ गया. Then I started somewhere around 2015.
Wow. And आप ये बताइए, Actomania क्या है? What is this word Actomania and what do you do in Actomania?
Actomania is maniac
Right.
for
Acting.
acting, yes. So it's like represent me. It's established in 2018.
Okay. Okay. And how did you? कैसे आप ये शुरू किया?
Actually, one of my friend, very good friend, she was doing her own event.
Okay.
And she asked me, why don't you come and just give some tips about acting?
In the event.
Event, yes. So I thought, let me give some name to my venture.
And the service.
Yeah. So that way I established.
तो आप क्या करते हैं Actomania में?
एक्टोमेनिया में जनरली हम वर्कशॉप करते हैं किड्स के लिए, एडल्ट्स के लिए. वी डू प्रोडक्शन आल्सो, शॉर्ट मूवीज, इवन थिएटर.
So workshop बोलते हो तो क्या होता है? मतलब kids के लिए, what age group of kids to come for this workshop?
मुझे लगता है 8 to 15 is the ideal age for any kid to get into acting. Before that, I think it's not.
Right.
They are very young for that.
And ये workshop में क्या सिखाते हैं आप?
इस वर्कशॉप में लाइक हम लोग जो भी टेक्निक्स है, एक्टिंग टेक्निक्स एंड हमारा जो भी एक मटेरियल रहता है स्पेशली उसके लिए सिलेबस रहता है, वी टीच ऑन.
So ये किड्स का वर्कशॉप बोलते हैं ना आप, क्या होता है उसमें?
उसमें हम लोग जो एक्टिंग टेक्निक्स है वो सिखाते हैं एंड देन इट्स क्वाइट नंबर ऑफ वेज बेनिफिशियल फॉर किड्स एंड देयर आर सो मेनी अदर सिलेबस वी गिव टू देम एंड इट्स गोना बी वेरी हेल्पफुल
राइट
throughout the life.
इज इट राइट टू से कि इस वर्कशॉप से क्रिएटिविटी बढ़ जाता है या प्रोडक्टिविटी इंप्रूव होते हैं?
Yes, creativity definitely. Brain creativity is, I think, not for acting, but for life also it's needed for. Yeah.
एंड अडल्ट्स भी आते हैं वर्कशॉप में?
हाँ, adults भी आते हैं. Adults का जो numbers रहता है वो ज्यादा रहता है compared to kids. Yeah.
Adults not necessarily that you have to be into acting, right? It can be passion.
Yeah. Can.
और मैंने सुना है कि कॉर्पोरेट लोग भी बहुत वर्कशॉप्स लेते हैं because it helps.
Yeah, most of them are corporate workers like.
And usually how frequent are these workshops organized?
For adults it's twice in a year and for kids also twice in a year.
Right. And आप ये बताइए कि production you said you are into theatre production. So अभी आपका पहला production आ रहा है.
Yes.
So what is the name of the production?
It's a Hindi play, आधे अधूरे.
आधे अधूरे.
Yes, wow. It's a timeless classic. It's a realistic play and it's gonna be very, very intense play because I think all the characters those जो play में है वो कहीं ना कहीं आम इंसानों से जुड़े हुए हैं. So you will feel that oh, this is me, my wife, my kids.
So what made you to come up with this play, produce this play?
We were planning this since like last 3 years. And finally we waited that COVID over, but it couldn't. So finally we decided to do.
And this subject as your first play.
Yes.
That is quite interesting to have an intense drama.
Intense drama.
Yeah. But so आप उस पे act कर रहे हो?
Yes, I'm also acting and producing.
Okay. Okay. And ये कब आ रहा है play?
It's in couple of weeks.
Right. And आपका website का नाम?
It's a www.actomania.com.
Okay, actomania.com. वहाँ पे जाके कर सकते हैं. And what is your vision for Actomania?
Vision is we want to provide high level training for kids and adults. So it's very clear vision.
आप आपके instructors हैं?
Yes, we actually call the freelancer. They are very experts in the theatre and acting field.
The actors of this play, the crew behind this play, कौन है, क्या है उनके, you know, this आधे अधूरे?
Yeah, आधे अधूरे में जो हमारे 7 कास्ट है, 7 लोग हैं, and they are very good actors. And
रिहर्सल सब चालू है?
रिहर्सल सब चालू है और पूरा दिन कर रहे हैं, रात को 10 बजे तक, and we are really working hard.
How long is the play?
It's a 80-minute play.
80
minutes
oh
play.
My God.
It's a full-fledged.
Full-fledged. Props and actors and proper planning. Right. And what do you think is the difference between acting in theatre and acting for camera?
There is no retake and it gives more satisfaction, you know, as an actor. I feel like more satisfied when I complete one show rather than cut.
And is it important that your voice needs to be loud and
yes,
अभी तो mics आ चुका है ना?
Mics आ चुका है, लेकिन जो हमारे जो director है, he don't believe in mics, you know, so he gives us like intense voice training, physical training.
आप इस शो का कुछ एक डायलॉग बोल सकते हैं?
इसमें एक डायलॉग है जो लेडी बोलती है कि why people get married and all that, because it's all about the relationship. She's saying like एक आदमी है, घर बसाता है, क्यों बसाता? अपनी कोई एक जरूरत पूरी करने के लिए. कौन सी जरूरत? एक अधूरापन कह लीजिए, उसे भर सकने की जरूरत. तो डॉट आगे जाएगा, बहुत लंबा है ये डायलॉग.
Very nice, and you're playing that role.
Yes.
And it's wonderful that आपने Actomania शुरू किया, and which is also, as you said, which is into workshops for kids and adults, and production भी करते हैं, theatre plays भी करते हैं. Have you thought about doing television and films also, or you're happy with theatre?
Theatre will be my first love, definitely. But definitely I'm open for everything.
Right.
Being actor, I cannot keep myself in one pocket now.
Till now, what has been your most challenging role or interesting role that you've done in life?
This one? The
Savitri.
Savitri, yes. It's a very, very huge role and it's intense.
Right. No, but really, all the best for it. I think what Singapore needs is more and more theatre.
Yes.
And I hope people also come out and support theatres.
Yes, please.
That is very, very important. And Actomania seems very interesting. So it's your baby, which conducts workshops for adults and kids, which is also very interesting because बच्चों के लिए तो it's important that parents understand that drama and theatre helps a lot in opening up, in giving that confidence and stuff. And your play is just around the corner.
Yes.
So I wish you great luck.
Thank
To
you
you
so much.
and the entire team. I hope it's a houseful theatre show. That have a great one. And I know as actors, you crave to go back in front of audience, in front of camera.
Yes.
And COVID has kind of halted 2 years of our lives, and now everything is opening up. So I think it's going to be great seeing everything back and bustling and you know, acting and drama and all of that. So I wish you great luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on Salaam Namaste Singapore. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here.
That's it in this segment. In fact, that's it for this season. Salaam Namaste Singapore Season 4 comes to an end with this. We had a great time filming this. We had great guests, great information to give you. I hope you enjoyed as much as we enjoyed putting it together. We will be back again with another very interesting season. Until then, stay safe, stay happy. My name is Vinay Bharadwaj and you just watched Salaam Namaste Singapore Season 4. See you very soon.